Good morning, John here, your host on the Prepared Mind channel. I'm the host, you're not, but you guys have got insight. You send me a lot of messages, a lot of information. I got a little bit of a thought off of a message I got, and I wanna respond with a joke. Humor, humor is one of those things that really, for me at least, helps me illustrate, think about, work on problems. So let's start with a joke and then roll on to how it plays out. So, this fella dies, and he goes to hell, and the devil greets him, and he says, "All righty," he says, "welcome to hell. It's not the most pleasant place, but I'm going to give you a choice." And the guy goes, "A choice? You get choices here? You get choices in hell?" The devil says, "Sure," and he walks over, and there's two doors. So he opens door number one, and there's people in that room. They're standing on their heads, and there is an evenly spread layer of shit, 1 inch thick in that room. And he sees all these people standing on their heads in shit. Not a lot of shit, but enough that it is painfully obvious that it's shit. It stinks. It's horrible. The guy's thinking, man, that's terrible. I don't want to put my head in a bunch of shit. So he says, can I see what's on the other side of door number 2? And the devil says, "You bet." And he opens up door number 2, and there's 1 foot of shit. It's 1 foot deep of shit, but all the people are standing in it, drinking coffee. And the guy says, well, he's thinking to himself, do I want to be on my head in 1 inch of shit or on my feet in 1 foot of it? Drinking coffee, having, conversation, just chilling. And he says, I'll tell you what. He says, I'll take the door number 2 over here. So the devil hands him a cup of coffee, walks him through the door, and says, "Have fun, buddy," slams the door shut. And then he opens the door. The devil opens the door 5 seconds later, goes, "Okay, everybody, break time's over. Back on your heads." Oh, man, that joke never gets bad. I love telling that joke. Right now he's going to be in 1 foot of shit, right? It's going to be up over his chin while he's on his head. The moral of the story is don't go to hell. Right now, there are people everywhere in the world, everywhere in America, they think they've got it really bad. They think they've got it rough. In reality, they couldn't have it better. We all couldn't have it better. We've got air conditioning. We've got power steering. We've got power locks. We've got refrigerators with electricity, and they're stuffed full of food if you want. Hell, you run out of food, government will give you free food. It's easy to get assistance, right? Every mistake is covered. Every mistake is covered. People get what? Right? You get a second chance, a third chance. You get unemployment for years. It's an incredible world. The comfort, the luxury. Yet we're this far from being in absolute total hell. And people have no fucking clue. People think that hell, or shit it's the fan, is going to be that hell with 1 inch. It's not. It's going to be ankle. It's going to be knee deep. It's going to be hip deep. And for most people, they're going to be standing on their fucking heads in it when shit hits the fan. And they have no clue. No clue it's coming. Right now, people can look out and they can go, well, my situation's bad, but look at that guy over there. He's doing really good. Yeah, right now, everybody is doing good. I'm doing good. You guys are doing good. Everyone has an opportunity. Right? No matter how handicapped you are, you can probably make an income. No matter your intelligence level, you can apply yourself and do well. It's kind of a wonderful world that way. But what is fascinating to me to no end, is that people don't realize how quickly that changes. And when you get to the other side, it's not going to be flowers and green grass neatly manicured with lions and lambs playing together. It's not that way. So what I want to do is I want to, and I already have, talk about the hellishness and how close we are to it, right? It's like Satan opening up that door and you walk on through into a bunch of shit and you're like, but 1 second ago everything was great. Right. That's what Shit Hits the Fan is about. 1 second ago, it's great. Then all of a sudden, you're fucking knee deep in it. You're hip deep in it. And you're like, what the fuck just happened? Right? That's how emergencies go. And we can see that. Power goes out. Everyone's upset. Water pipe breaks. The house is flooded. You go from comfort to what the fuck shit in like 1 minute. So, I want to talk about Shit Hits the Fan in World War II. World War II saw massive destruction. And I'm going to talk about Europe only. Massive destruction. Where the fighting took place was where the conflict was. Right? That's where the evil was at. Right? The war, the killing, the exploding bombs and destroyed cities. Right? Gunfire, everything, all that havoc. That was shit hitting the fan, and that was where the mistakes were made. That was where the evil was at. Germany was fucking with everybody. Everybody was fucking with Germany. It doesn't matter. That's where the evil was at, and that's where it played out. So where it plays out is where the destruction happens. That's where the shit is at. When we came out of World War II, doesn't matter how prosperous you were before the war. It's what happened during the war that determined where people were at in general. So let's take a look at Germany. Germany got the ever-loving shit bombed out of it. The German people were destitute. They were crushed. Right? Italy, same story. The fascist Italians, they were fucking around with everybody. They got destroyed. Their economy was hammered. And to give you an idea of how it affected them, you know, after the war, what did they get to drive around in? Vespas. You know, mini bikes or mopeds. That was the family car after the war. That's how much they were crushed by it. They went from a thriving economy to Vespas because that's all they could afford. And they were fucking happy for that. You see, because after you've been in Shit Hits the Fan, after you've been in that war situation where everything is being destroyed around you, people are dying, you realize, or they realized, how lucky they were before the war, how fortunate they were, how good things were relative to after hitting the fan. Here in America, when shit hits the fan, everyone right now who is so pissed off, they want to act all mad. How come that guy has a good job? How come that guy has a great money? How come that guy has a cool car and the hot chicks and the nice suits and blah, 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 blah. Right? There's all this jealousy. Right? I can't ever get there. They're going to think that today is a fucking picnic. That it's a day in paradise with happy naps on green grass under shade trees compared to when shit hits the fan and then even after it. See, I talk about what happens after. What kind of system do we get? It doesn't really matter what kind of system we get afterwards at the beginning, because it's going to take an awful lot of work to fix the damage that occurred during the event. You see, what happens during the event, right, is the payment, the destruction, the killing, right? There has to be a rebalancing of the scales. It's going to be, I don't even want to use simple words. It's going to be hellish for people. They're gonna pine for the days. They're gonna pine for 1998. They're gonna pine for 2005, for 2015. They're gonna wish they could have it that good again. There was a time in this country when having one TV was a status symbol socially. To have a color TV was a status symbol socially. Criminy, in my fifth wheel, I've got 3 TVs and a computer and a Kindle and all, smartphones. We've got all of these toys, this technology. That's going to go away. People won't have the money. They'll find a way to afford one of those things or 2 of those things, but it won't be like my place is now. There won't be TVs everywhere. People won't be buying everything. They won't have the money for that, right? They're going to have to fucking pay if they survive the shit it's the fan event. Now, after World War II, France got the shit kicked out of it too. Not quite as bad as Italy. But what did they get afterwards? Well, little dinky cars that you can put maybe 2 French-sized people in. They're a little smaller than some of us larger American types. Anyways, yeah, they're going to have some trouble. Every country in Europe that got the ever-loving shit bombed out of it. England, they had to rebuild because of the problems that were inherent in the system. The problems are the finance, the politics, right? The debt, the stupidity, all of that had to be paid for because of the actions taken during the war and the destruction that occurred. We're going to have mass destruction. We're going to have mass carnage. We're going to have mass loss of life. Now, let's just say we have a pretty aggressive shit it's the fan, and 50% of the people in this country die, disappear, gone. Question we have to ask ourselves is, who's going to do the fucking cleanup? Not just the dead bodies, but who's going to fix all the burned out buildings? Who's going to replace them? Well, I guess we won't need quite as many homes if half the people die. But who's going to work to do all the repairs? Where are all those skilled laborers going to come from? Who's going to what? Work in the factories. Well, one, the factories that aren't here, the industrialized nation. Who's going to build new factories? Where's that money going to come from? Right? Who's going to loan it to us? Right? Not some paper bullshit script, some counterfeit, some fake money. It's going to have to be real money. Right? People are going to wish for the day when they could stand on their head in 1 inch of shit versus 12 inches of shit. It's all shit, right? It's all shit. And we're all going to get to do our part one way or another. Either you're going to get to die and shit it's the fan, or you're going to get to live. And if you live, right, who knows how many coffee breaks you're going to get in a day. But for the most part, you're going to be standing on your head in shit. That's what we get to look forward to. Right? I don't know how many people are going to get through shit-eating the fan and come out smelling like roses. I don't know. I would like to be someone who doesn't have shit all over his head, but who knows? So what I'm doing is doing my best to be prepared, both physically and mentally, and understand the reality, right? Because the devil's going to have everybody by the tail, right? Everyone's going to be running fucking scared, in other words, when shit hits the fan. And people right now, they're pissed off now. You think they're pissed off because they don't have a good job? All of these, millennial generation types, like the little communist types. Everyone who's a Democrat is angry as fuck right now. You think they're mad now? Wait till we get a collapse. I mean, we had some serious silver movement in price down pressure, and it's well below the cost of production. I can basically hear, right, the gates being slammed on mining firms, especially silver mining today, and it's going to get crazy, right? It's going to get crazy. It's going to bounce back. Everything that has real value will have tremendous value when shit hits the fan, right? Commodities, food, right? Everything that's real is going to have real value, and everything that's fake, it's made up, it's bullshit, is going to lose value. That's when we're going to see the hyperinflation. When we have some stumbling, some collapsing, people shitting on themselves, they're going to run to things with real value. It's going to be one hell of a shit show. So, What do you want? 1 inch of shit or 12 and you on your head, right? And don't be fooled by those who are drinking cups of coffee, right? They just think they've got it good. They don't, right? In other words, break time is over. Back on your heads. What a fucking mess. You guys be cool. Thank you for supporting the channel. Lots of shit going on. Keep your eyes open. I don't want to rehash the news every day the way some channels do. I want to try and give you guys original thoughts and let you know you're doing the right thing by prepping. And to ask you to always reassess where you're at and if you're as ready as you can be. Because chance favors the prepared mind is yours. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.